Hello friends, welcome to my channel Grammarian Bhai, and today let's solve the remaining part of Act-3 Scene-1 of Class 10 Julius Caesar workbook from Morning Stars. And if you have not yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. So in this video we will discuss from extract number 5. So the first question of extract number 5 is, when Cassius says, "Stoop then and wash," to whom he is speaking? What exactly does he mean? Who had just suggested washing? So the answer will be, when Cassius says, "Stoop then and wash," he is speaking to all his co-conspirators. He means that they need to bathe their hands up to their elbows in Caesar's blood and smear their swords with it. Brutus had suggested washing in the blood of Caesar. Second question, explain the meaning of states unborn, assents, and Pompey's basis. So the answer will be, states unborn means that the action of the murder of Caesar would be remembered for centuries, and people would enact the scene to immortalize their great service to Rome. Assents means that even in countries which so far had not been created, their deed would be dramatized and people would speak of it in languages which had yet to be formed. Pompey's basis, which means that Caesar and Pompey had at first been allies, but later Pompey challenged Caesar. But Caesar defeated him and later killed by his friends. Similarly, Caesar was murdered like Pompey by his own friends. Like Pompey, Caesar also dreamt of becoming king and gaining power. Next question, number 3. What does Brutus want to express when he says, "How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport?" So the answer will be, Brutus uses high-sounding words to convince himself and the others that they had not committed any crime. He takes refuge in superficialities, claiming that Caesar's death would immortalize him because it would be enacted in theaters many times. Next question, number 4. What does Cassius believe the knot of us will be called and why? So the answer will be, Cassius believes that they would be called the liberators of their country. He boasts that by killing Caesar, they had given their country liberty and freedom, and they would be remembered with honor. Next question. The entry of the servant of Antony may be said to mark the turning point of the whole play. Narrate very briefly in what way this is so. So the answer will be, Antony returns to the Senate house where Caesar has been murdered. He comes to meet the conspirators and to ensure his own safety. He wants to know what are the intentions regarding him. He cleverly praises Brutus and others to put off their suspicions and convince them that he is harmless. He expresses grief to see Caesar's dead body. He uses his sentiments to impress Brutus of his loyalty to his dead friend, and finally uses his speech at Caesar's funeral to incite the people of Rome against Caesar's murderers and takes revenge. Next extract, number 6. And the first question of extract 6 is, where does the mighty Caesar lie? What is meant by this little measure? Give one example each of Caesar's conquests and his glories. So the answer will be, the mighty Caesar lies dead at the base of Pompey's statue. Antony laments that Caesar, who had fought many wars, conquered many countries, and ruled over vast land, was in the end lying dead, occupying such a little space. The truth is that ultimately a man needs very little place to die, no matter how rich or famous he was in his lifetime. Second question, who are the gentlemen he addresses? What does he implore them to do? What does his request tell us about his character? So the answer will be, the gentlemen Antony addresses are the assassins of Caesar, namely Brutus, Cassius, Decius, Metellus, Cinna, and Trebonius. He begs them to kill him along with Caesar if they had any hard feelings for him, because he would like to die along with Caesar by the same weapons. His request tells us about his character is that he is a shrewd and clever politician. Next, number 3, give the meaning of who else must be let blood. Who else is rank? What, in your opinion, is Antony's reason for saying so? So the answer will be, the term to let blood refers to a practice of the doctors who used to bleed their patients for a variety of ailments. It was only their remedy. The word rank refers to the ancient doctors who would bleed a patient if they felt he had too much blood and required that some be taken away. Antony is questioning the conspirators that who else did they intend to kill, because they considered him too strong and a threat to them, or how many more were going to be killed by them. Next question, what does Antony expression the most noble blood of all his world indicate about Antony's feelings for Caesar? So the answer will be, Antony implores the conspirators that in case they intended to kill him, then it was the most suitable time to do so, because he would love to die along with Caesar, whom he loved so much. It was the most fitting hour, the right moment. It will enriched as they are by the most noble blood in the world. Next question, number 5. What did Brutus tell Antony about the conspirators' feeling for Caesar? Was Brutus honest? Why? So the answer will be, Brutus, the leader of the conspirators, assures Antony that they meant him no harm. They had no intentions of slaying him along with Caesar. Brutus then explains that the assassination of Caesar was imperative to save Rome. It was an act of honor. Brutus was honest in his feelings for Caesar. He assassinated Caesar for pure the betterment of Rome, and he had not a personal grudge towards him. Next, extract number 7, and the first question of extract 7 is, what is meant by the word credit? Why does it now stand on such slippery ground? So the answer will be, the word credit refers to reputation. Antony tells the conspirators that they must be doubting his sincerity and having a low opinion about him. His reputation with them was doubtful. It now stands on such slippery ground because opinion about him is not certain. The conspirators are not sure what to consider Antony to be. They were in dilemma as to decide what exactly Antony is, a coward or a flatterer. Next question. What does Antony mean to say by the following words? That one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. So the answer will be, Antony means that the conspirators would form one or the other of the two bad opinions about Antony. They would either regard him as a coward or a flatterer. Next, number 3. What effect do Antony's action and words have on his listeners? So the answer will be, Antony appears as a shrewd judge of character and knows how to use his grief at Caesar's death to his own advantage. He puts up a show of sincerity and friendship and impresses Brutus and the other conspirators. He is shrewd and cunning diplomat who can use flattery to charm even his enemies. Next question, number 4. What mistake did Brutus make by granting the request of Antony? What did Cassius warn him then? What were the consequences of the mistake? So the answer will be, Brutus made mistake by granting Antony to speak at Caesar's funeral. Brutus did not think that Antony would not do any harm and not found fault with him. Cassius disagrees with Brutus, warning him that he was committing a mistake by allowing Antony to speak at Caesar's funeral. He tells Brutus that Antony, an eloquent orator, could win the support of the people. The consequence of his mistake was that Antony made a passionate appeal and incited the mob to turn against the conspirators. Number 5. How did Antony prove that he would be both a coward and a flatterer? So the answer will be, Antony proved him both a coward and flatterer. He proved to be a coward since he was not showing anger and disgust to the conspirators, even though they were the murderers of Caesar, his best friend. Rather, he was extending them a hand in friendship when he should be hating them. He proved to be a flatterer as he wanted to save himself by falsely praising the enemies of Caesar, his friends. Number 8, and the first question of the extract 8 is, who speaks these words? Here was obeyed. What is the comparison implied in the expression? To what custom of the hunters does it refer? So the answer will be, these words are spoken by Antony to the Senate house while grieving ever the dead body of Caesar. The conspirators who murdered Caesar are referred to as the hunters by Antony. He compares with deer to Caesar, and hunters are the conspirators who hunted and then killed Caesar mercilessly. Next, number 2, explain the double meaning intended in the expression brave heart. So the answer will be, brave heart refers to Caesar, meaning a deer. The conspirators who murdered Caesar are referred as the hunters. Antony refers to Caesar as the deer, and he was chased and killed by the conspirators. Shakespeare has introduced a pun on the similar sounds of the words heart and heart. Caesar was so great and mighty that the world centered around his personality, and he is called the brave heart. Next, question number 3. Who are the hunters in the present crisis? Give the meaning of signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy leath. So the answer will be, people, those who take revenge, make plot against innocent and weak people, and even murder them for the silly reasons. The phrase signed in thy spoil means that the assassins bear the signs of Caesar's destruction and murder. Their swords and arms are stained with the blood of Caesar. Crimsoned in thy leath refers to the reddened hands of the murderers of Caesar, which are colored with his life blood. The word leath literally means death and was a term used for the blood of the deer shed at the final blow. Next question, number 4. In what way was the world the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee? The answer will be, Antony refers to Caesar as heart, meaning a deer. The conspirators are hunters who killed Caesar mercilessly. Shakespeare has introduced a pun on the similar sounds of the word heart and heart. Metaphorically speaking, the world was a forest in which Caesar was hart or deer hunted by his assassins. Similarly, Caesar was so great and mighty that the world centered around his personality, and he might be called the heart of the world. Next question, number 5. Why does the speaker arouse Cassius' suspicion? What does Cassius ask the speaker as a result of the suspicion? So the answer will be, Cassius is not as trusting as Brutus and does not get as easily impressed with Antony's show of friendship and grief. He is suspicious of Antony's real motives for seeking their friendship. He wants to know whether he would actually join them or not. Next, extract number 9. And the first question of extract 9 is, why is Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge? When and to whom does Caesar's spirit appear later in the play? So the answer will be, Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge for his murderers because they have killed him mercilessly. Antony makes a prophecy that Caesar's spirit will seek revenge for his murderer. The spirit of Caesar would come along with the ancient goddess of revenge and mischief to bring ruin and destruction to the land of Italy. Caesar's spirit appeared later in the play on Cassius, Tribunus, and Brutus, and so on. Next question, who is Ate? Why is her name used in the context? What is meant by confines? So the answer will be, Ate is the ancient Romans goddess from hell. Her name is used in the context because Caesar's spirit would be accompanied by her, and together they would bring death and destruction over the land of Italy as a revenge for the brutal and treacherous murder of Caesar. Here, confines means that no one would be spared, for Ate would help the spirit of Caesar to let loose destructions and general bloodshed. Question number 3. With a monarch's voice cry havoc. This indicates absolute and authoritative royal command for destruction. What does the expression foretell about the things to come? So the answer will be Antony predicts that the spirit of Caesar would come along with the ancient goddess of revenge and mischief to bring ruin and destruction to the land of Italy. The spirit would, in a mighty voice, order ruin and disaster of Italy and let loose all the horrors of war. Not only would the smell of the foul murder of Caesar haunt the land of Italy, but also the stench of rotting many dead bodies urgently needed burial. Death would rule the land, ordered by the spirit of Caesar seeking revenge. Next question, number 4. Who are the dogs of war? Which foul deed is referred to, and how will it smell above the earth? So the answer will be people of Rome, especially the conspirators, are the dogs of war. The spirit of Caesar, along with goddess Ate, would revenge against the conspirators, and there would be horrors of war and destruction. The foul is referred to the foul murder of Caesar by the conspirators. The smell of the foul murder of Caesar would haunt the people, and stench of rotting of immutable dead bodies urgently needing burial. Death would rule the earth. Next question. What would the consequences of these happenings be for the conspirators and as well as for Antony? So the answer will be Antony is consumed with hatred for Caesar's murderers and passionately wants to take revenge. He also predicts that the Caesar's spirit would be accompanied by the ancient goddess Ate, and together they would bring death and destructions over the land of Italy, as well as a revenge for the brutal and mercilessly killing of Caesar over the conspirators. The spirit of Caesar would take revenge after all the conspirators. Next extract number 10, and the first question of extract 10 is, to whom is Antony speaking? Why is this person here? Where are they? So the answer will be, Antony is speaking these words to a servant of Octavius Caesar, who had come to deliver a verbal message to Antony that his master was coming. They are beside Caesar's dead body in the Senate house after all the conspirators had left. Next question. What had Antony just said to this person before telling him to stay a while? How did this person help Antony? So the answer will be, Antony had just said to this person before telling him to stay a while was to travel back speedily and tell his master what had happened in Rome. Rome is a place of mourning, a place of danger. There is no safety here for Octavius. Yet go off and tell him so. This person helped Antony to carry Caesar's dead body into the marketplace. Next question, number 3. Explain the meaning of oration. What does this passage reveal to us about what Antony proposed to do so? So the answer will be oration means speech. Antony planned to speak eloquently in his speech at the forum and to turn the public opinion in his favor and against the murderers of Caesar. He knew that he was a powerful orator and could easily sway the sentiments of the public and incite them to revolt against the assassins. Next question. Earlier, Antony said, "Over thy wounds now do I prophesy." Mention any 3 points of his prophecy. So the answer will be Antony's prophecies are: first, a curse shall fall upon the limbs of men. Second, there shall be anger at home, and civil war shall impede progress everywhere in Italy. Third, the spirit of Caesar hunting for revenge with the goddess Ate by his side. And the last question of Act 3, Scene 1 is: which trait of Antony's nature is shown in this passage? Give examples of 2 other occasions in the play where a different aspect of his character is shown, distinct from the one shown in this extract. So the answer will be Antony, the best friend of Caesar, is shown at the beginning of the play as a sports person with different character. He is a reveler who enjoys the good things of his life. Antony's nature is shown in this passage as an emotional man who overcome with sorrow at the death of his friend Caesar. His grief is genuine and speaks of his love and loyalty for Caesar. He pledges to punish the murderers and curses them with death and destruction. And if you think the video is helpful to you, please subscribe the channel and like the video.